What's up, here, man? How you doing, y'all? It's been forever since I streamed on this channel. I'm happy to be here, happy to be back. We're here to talk today about Mihawk. And we're finna say he's a freaking fraud. Alright? Mihawk sucks. He paints his sword.
You said that.
Nah, man. I'm just kidding. We're finna discuss if he is a fraud or not, actually. We gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Try BS. Well, I can't promise it will be unbiased or not, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. Finna discuss is Mihawk a fraud? And this conversation came up because Katakuri was actually discussing with someone who basically stated they believe that Mihawk can defeat Roger, which is quite a claim if there ever was one. Am I right? I mean, but yeah. So we're gonna discuss if Mihawk is a fraud or not. Can he defeat Roger? And I also like to discuss if he could defeat Shanks too, because that's a whole other thing too. If people think he could defeat Shanks, but
I mean, hey, they're entitled to their opinion. They're wrong.
Turn my volume up. Turn my volume. Okay. I can turn you up a little too fast. Okay. Better volume. Very volume. Better volume. Okay. All right. So I guess I'll start first with me personally. Do I think Mihawk is a fraud? Okay, so I'll say this. I think that Mihawk may low-key be a fraud. And the reason I believe that is because of the fact that Mihawk is stated to be the world's strongest or best swordsman, right? But honestly, bro, are we sure that like other people with a sword can't defeat him? Like Big Mom or Kaido. Doesn't Kaido have a sword or am I tripping? No, he has a club.
Nope.
Can Big Mom, I mean, like, would Roger be considered the world's greatest swordsman? I mean, what do we consider
He,
the,
he's
the,
dead.
the certificates of the greatest swordsman, right? I mean, is it
Roger's dead.
right? But I'm saying, was Roger the greatest swordsman? Did Roger use the sword? Does that mean he's the greatest
You're
swordsman?
gonna count a dead man?
I'm asking. I'm asking
You're
this.
gonna count a dead man?
I'm asking this because I'm saying to see if Mihawk is a fraud or not. Because just because he's the greatest swordsman doesn't mean he can beat every nigga with a sword.
We also don't know how he got the title and who he got the title from. Like, that's what people need to realize, is that being given the title doesn't mean 100% that he's the best.
Right.
Now, if Oda would have said, oh, he got the title by, I don't know, taking on somebody who's as strong as Roger and beating him, then I'd be like, okay, the feats don't match up, but, you know.
Yeah, that's why honestly I believe the whole greatest swordsman thing just means sword skill. Is he called a
Yeah,
greatest
and,
swordsman or
and, and
strongest
another
swordsman?
thing,
Is he strongest or greatest?
yeah, I just think it'd be stupid for him to be as strong as Roger, because this guy, if he was as strong as Roger, he should have low diffed Vista. He should have taken him down in a single slash.
Yo, wait, hold on. By the way, we're screaming, so don't say anything. We're screaming about One Piece, so yeah.
Who even is this?
Oh, that's Lady K.
Who?
Lady K. The being your screen.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. But yeah, this is about One Piece. You're probably not caught the One Piece. I mean, I don't think you started One Piece. So I don't know if you can hear me right now. I'm gonna text you. In Discord. But yeah. Anywho's, what I was saying was, let me look up real quick if Mihawk is the greatest or the strongest.
You know what people should call him if they think he's a fraud? Call him me fraud.
Okay, yeah, world's strongest swordsman. Okay, yeah, world's strongest swordsman. Okay, let me put this out there. Shanks is a sword. Mihawk is a sword. A lot of people say Mihawk would be Shanks. Now, in my opinion, one's a Yonko, not even a opinion. Let's put it simple. One's a Yonko, the other isn't.
Hmm.
Shanks is a Yonko, Mihawk isn't.
Here's another point that you may have forgotten. When Kaido was talking about how high will you go to Luffy, Mihawk was not among any of the pirates shown in that silhouette. It was Shanks, Odin, Shanks, Odin, Roger, and Whitebeard. No Mihawk.
Right.
So, Kaido clearly doesn't consider him to be all that. Plus, we don't know what the heck it means to be the best swordsman in One Piece, because in One Piece, all swordsman feats are superhuman strength feats, like cutting a building in half, or cutting a bunch of ships in half. That has nothing to do with actual sword skill. That's just how strong your arms are and how fast you can swing a blade. That's not swordsman skill. That's just superhuman strength. And we know Big Mom can do that, no problem. So, that title doesn't really mean much to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why I think it's sword skill, really, because I just think that I don't know. I don't see him.
I think it's tied to Yoru.
Yoru.
I think the reason why he has that title is because he's got a black blade.
Well, you ask some people, he painted his blade.
No, do you seriously buy into that whole painting meme? Because
No, it's a
I don't. Like, it's funny, but I feel like people get way too caught up on it.
No, people don't generally think it's a case.
It'd be funny if it turned out to be the case, but
Yeah,
or turned out to be true.
people when spoilers. I mean, you're not caught up. I don't know why you guys. Well, honestly, I mean, Miyagi didn't show up for so long, so I can see why you do watch it. But spoilers, right? G5 for Luffy painted his back, and I remember some people were talking about Luffy they got the paint from Mihawk. But so basically, you're saying, in your opinion, right, that Mihawk, like his sword was strong, not him.
Yes,
Mm.
his basically Yoru is a big part of why he's got that title.
Mm.
Because we know that in One Piece, while swords may not factor in as much as they would in something like Bleach, there is a hierarchy to the swords and the strength that they give the wielder.
Mm.
And guaranteed, if you put a random sword in Mihawk's hands, he'd be 50% weaker from that alone.
That's crazy. Now, that's crazy. Hey,
Because if my theory is correct, getting a black blade means bonding with that sword and never being able to use another sword so long as you live, because you have devoted yourself to that specific weapon. And And we kind of see that with Enma.
And the blade that cut Kaido. Zoro was salivating in the anime, by the way, when he said, "In the blade that cut Kaido." He was down bad. He was freaked out. So, in your opinion, why do you think some people do believe he could defeat Roger?
What I think? What?
Why do you think some people believe that he could defeat Roger?
They base that on the fact that, oh, well, he's got the title of world's greatest swordsman. Here's the thing they seem to forget. It wasn't greatest swordsman of all time or greatest swordsman to have ever lived. It's world's greatest swordsman. Roger's not in the world anymore. He's dead. Like, you can't do that.
So if Roger
I mean,
came back alive, Mihawk would lose the title?
like by that logic, that would mean that Whitebeard shouldn't have been considered to be the world's strongest man when Roger was either equal to or a little bit stronger than him. And if you're going to use a dead guy to say, oh, well, clearly Mihawk's stronger than Roger because he's the greatest swordsman in the world. Okay, does that mean that Whitebeard, being the strongest man in the world, is now automatically stronger than Rox and stronger than Roger? And would that also mean that Kaido being the strongest thing means that Kaido is stronger than Imu? Be honest, I think it'd be pretty bad writing if Mihawk was somehow stronger than Roger, because if he's that strong, why could he never beat Shanks? There's no way that Shanks is on the level of Roger. No way.
I mean, apparently they equal out or something, or I mean, the thing is, some people like there's some people who are the Mihawk over Shanks guys. They state that the people who claim that Shanks can beat Mihawk are basically just saying that Shanks doesn't use his what am I trying to say? That Shanks doesn't use hockey because that's the only way they could see
What?
the whole fear. Okay, good. Okay, let me explain this best because obviously I don't have the pain myself, so let me try to explain this best. So basically, the people who believe that Mihawk is stronger than Shanks, they will say it doesn't make sense to believe Shanks is stronger than Mihawk because you're just saying in their duels that Shanks isn't using hockey. Because of the fact that
come on.
Because the fact that a lot of people like me, the reason why like I'm a Shanks over Mihawk guy, right? A lot of people like me, we state that well, Mihawk is the best in sword skill. That's why he's the world's strongest swordsman. They'll say, okay then, if he's the best at sword skill, right? How come Shanks hasn't defeated Mihawk? If Shanks is not using hockey, Shanks' only weapon is a sword. What makes Shanks over Mihawk then? If his main weapon is a sword.
People are too obsessed with that stupid sword nonsense. But that's just dumb. Like, why would two of the strongest characters in the friggin' verse?
Oh, you think Mihawk is the second strongest character in the verse?
No, two of them. Like, and I'm only talking characters that are alive. out of the characters, because I don't consider people that are dead to be part of the verse, unless you're talking all time. They are among the strongest characters in the entire One Piece world. And you're telling me that they weren't using haki during their duels? What kind of sense does that make? That's like saying, like, okay, if that's the argument, why did Roger and Whitebeard use haki when they had their duel? Because they were clearly not trying to kill each other. You can tell that based on their demeanor.
Yeah.
When they,
I
you know, that.
think Mihawk was trying to kill each other.
That could also be part of the argument. Maybe they were always holding back. Maybe they just never had a reason to want to go all out. They just liked fighting each other so much, and they kind of treated it like sport. But honestly, I don't think. You know, the thing that my argument has always been, we don't know how we got the title of World's Strongest. So you can't just automatically assume, oh, well, of course he's stronger than Shanks. Okay, well, who gave him the title? Who declared that Mihawk is the strongest swordsman? Because it's not it's something that the entire world believes. It's almost like an official rank to where the entire world accepts the fact that he is the strongest swordsman in the world. But once again, why was he given that title, and why do so many believe that? He had to have done something to warrant that title being given. And the only thing we know about him is, oh, he was fighting equally with Shanks. And that's obviously not the reason why he was declared as the world's greatest or strongest swordsman, because he never beat Shanks.
Yeah, well, I would say to play devil's advocate real quick though. To be fair, right? Okay. So, you stated that Roger and Whitebeard never beat each other because they weren't serious, right? So, someone can go back on what you just stated, right? Because you stated obviously Mihawk getting stronger than Shanks because he never beat Shanks, but also Shanks never beat Mihawk either, though.
Because Shanks clearly does not. From what we've seen of Shanks, he's not the type to just go in for the kill unless he feels that he has to. Otherwise, he'll just screw around.
What do you think he was doing with Kid?
Well, with Kid, it was about making sure that Kid didn't, take any of his men out. He had to shut that down ASAP so that none of the weaker member ships would get destroyed. He wasn't doing that because he saw him as a threat. He was doing that because he realized that if I don't stop him now, like quickly,
we're cooked.
A lot of my people are going to be put in danger. If it was just one-on-one, like only Shanks and Kid are there, I think Shanks would just have been messing around with him, toying with him. Because one thing we know about Shanks, remember in I don't remember the exact quote because I only ever saw it in the anime, but in the very first episode, or no, not the very first episode. It was the episode where we get that flashback on Shanks meeting Luffy. And he says to that mountain bandit, basically, I don't, like, you can heck was it? Basically, you can. What did he say? You can throw a bottle at me. You can even spit on me. I'll just laugh that off. But don't you ever mess with a friend of mine. That tells you right there that Shanks. I'm not gonna go so far as to say that he has no regard for his life, but he's not gonna feel threatened by you. Um, if you're just messing with him. But if you go after someone that's close to him, that's when the gloves are off. Um, and there's no way in heck that kid was gonna be doing anything to Shanks. I'm sorry. That one attack proved that he wouldn't have had any difficulty beating. Like even if you believed that move was somehow Shanks' strongest move, which I think is ridiculous. Clearly, he can do that move more than once. So, I think that's something that a lot of that people tend to forget is when you talk about a character's strongest move, you should expect that they'll be able to spam that move to some extent. You should expect that it's not just going to be, I can only use it once and then I'm drained for the rest of the day. Because that's just not how that works. But
So basically,
God, I forgot what.
okay. So what happened with Shanks and Bartolomeo? That name is a mouthful. Bartolomeo. It sounds like
Shanks didn't do
sounds
anything.
like a type of
Shanks
mayonnaise.
didn't do. Yeah. Well, first of all, that wasn't Shanks. That was Yasop.
Yeah, but okay. So we saying Shanks plays around, right? We're assuming Shanks plays around, right? So why did Shanks just stand there and get Yasop just blow a freaking hole in his ship? I'm sorry, sank his
I
ship.
mean, that
It,
could be inconsistent writing because it
is
kind of
Shanks a
goes
fraud
against
too?
things
Is Shanks
that
a fraud too? Can he not react to Yasop's bullets?
that could just be inconsistent writing. One of those things where if an author doesn't reread their work to make sure that things are consistent, they can make a mistake and write a character differently than the way they were previously portrayed. And in the case of Shanks, that whole thing could have just been Oda completely forgot or didn't check his notes before writing that scene. That's very possible. There's absolutely no way that man remembers every single detail of his entire story. No way. No way.
He remembers a lot
Unless
though.
unless he rereads, because even the creator of a story has to reread their own story
Oh
to
yeah,
recall things.
oh yeah, I agree. As someone aspiring to be a writer, you sometimes you have an outline, a general idea of where you're gonna go. But at the same time, you come up with new ideas as you go, and that also happened with Oda because Oda stated that he knows One Piece ending, but it kept getting stretched out over and over and over because he kept coming up with new ideas. So yes, it does have some
No,
truth to it. At the same time, at the same time, it does have some truth to it, right? Yasop, we only know so much about Yasop. We know he's a scumbag dad left his son to go adventuring, right? But we don't know him to be disloyal or not, right? So it could possibly in the future be a scene where Shanks is like, "What the hell, Yasop? I'ma kick
yeah,
your," you know, like he could be talking like how Luffy does when Luffy gets upset, like comedically or something, right? But at the
it's also
same
possible. Yeah,
time, but at the same time, though, if we assume that all of Shanks' members are super loyal to him, do not betray his ideas, right? Then, I mean, there has to be something in Yasa's mind where he would think Shanks would be okay with this, right?
or it wasn't Shanks.
Why would Yasop do something completely against what he knows Shanks to have done before?
Because I don't know. I mean, again, could be inconsistent writing, could be character assassination.
It
Um,
could be.
and we know that Oda likes to do that from time to time.
it could also be Shanks is a bit more serious than giving credit for.
Again, that'd be inconsistent writing.
How so? I mean,
That would,
after Big Mom and Kaido got taken down, Shanks was like, I'm going after the One Piece.
yeah, I'll never understand that. But
I'm gonna go after the One Piece with like a villainous Aizen. I'm so scared Aizen outfit. But
yeah, I mean, hey, maybe he is just your, legit pirate, where it's like, I can be dirty, I can be a trickster myself, and just because I say certain things doesn't mean you should believe them because you know you don't know what my true intentions are, which to me would still be inconsistent writing and character assassination. But
so Shanks is just
you know, if it
the
if it's
villain.
just that Shanks is if it's just that Shanks is actually like a scoundrel with some degree of morals, uh,
I think that's the case
you
somewhat.
know, yeah.
Um, but it's funny. I'm laughing because as you were talking, I don't know why, but I thought the silliest comparison. I was thinking of the villain from Princess and the Frog. Uh,
Oh, oh God, what's his name? Facilia, Doctor Facilia, or
don't you
however you
dare
pronounce his
dare the
name.
great of the ride. You're in my world now, not your world.
My God,
And the reason I was
and
thinking of
I'm
that,
going other side.
the reason that I was thinking that is for two reasons, right? I was thinking about it towards Mihawk and Shanks. With Shanks, I was thinking about it because it's like how the guy in the movie, that villain in the movie, he pretended to be like this, this charming, nice guy, whatever, but he actually was a trickster. So I don't know where that comparison came from with Shanks. But also I was thinking about it too because he has like demons on the other side, and I'm thinking about Mihawk's coffin, and I'm just thinking about what if Mihawk has.
Yeah.
They just start singing a Disney song,
Are you ready, Zoro? Are you gonna fight me?
bro. Transformation Central transforms
I'm
his
gonna
hero.
take my blade and shove it into that green-haired head, cause I got. God,
right,
just me. Hawk starts singing.
right, right.
He starts like tapping his foot and like jamming, and Zoro's like, "What the heck is going on here?" Oh, it's a dance number, dance
Yeah.
routine, and I'm gonna serenade you.
Honestly, now I'm thinking about it. I'm surprised. That would have been. I know you probably wouldn't have liked it, but just quick. I just quick off topicness somewhat. Katakuri. Well, kind of off topic. Your name is Katakuri, so I guess someone topic. I'm surprised that Oda didn't like give somebody on a whole K Island like a Disney singing ability or something. Like imagine the serious Katakuri having that ability.
Are you kidding? I would have loved that.
Oh, you would
Why would
actually
I have
love that?
hated that?
Okay,
Why
okay.
would I have hated that?
I don't know. Maybe
Because
you
because
dive
here's the
in.
thing. Because here's the thing. Don't forget, it wasn't really singing, but he did have that whole donuts, bit. If he had actually been like a great singer and did like a song, like a full length song like his mother did, I would have been like, all right, that's perfect. Because one, that's his mom. Two, you know, minus the whole, honorable thing, Katakuri does seem to be the most similar to his mother. Um, and I mean, we see that through his addiction to sweets, like him stuffing his face. Um, like, obviously he's the only member besides Big Mom that has conquerors. Um,
Mama.
but him belting out a song would have been, oh my God, that would have been amazing. I even went so far as to say I would love to see Blackbeard sing.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah, like something akin to what Big Mom sang.
Hmm.
Just because it kind of brings the fun back. It adds in a little bit of fun without it feeling out of place.
I don't know. I think it would feel out of
Uh,
place with Blackbeard, but I could see with Katakuri, because
I,
that's her son.
he's a big dumb fat oaf.
That
Like
means
I think it's
so. You saying
perfect for
all fat
Blackbeard.
people sing?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he's already a joke.
Because he's fat?
The reason I brought that up is because whenever this dude fights, he freaking rolls around like a complete moron,
Oh, okay. I
and
was gonna say, I'm like,
it's
bro.
like
I
it's like and someone telling, well, I can say that because I'm talking about myself. Like I'm not talking about people in general. I'm just saying, like,
got you. I got you. I'm just saying.
if somebody tries to argue that, oh well, he shouldn't sing because he wouldn't be serious, are you forgetting about the fact that that in many scenes we see this dude get get messed with by his own crew. We see this man almost get taken out by Magellan. We see this man, rolling around on the ground, writhing in pain.
So 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 you.
This man gets humiliated all the time, and someone wants to expect me to believe that singing would be beneath Blackbeard because it's not serious enough.
Yeah, got you. Got you.
And yes, I am partially biased because I hate Blackbeard.
I
I
love
think he's I
Blackbeard,
think
bro.
he's boring. I think he's highly overrated as a character.
That's a topic for another day, because I disagree. Um, but
Well,
yeah. So just clarification for people in the stream. Katakuri said he himself has big guy privileges. He didn't mean anything by it. Um,
well, I mostly only said that because he's supposed to be some kind of a fighter. Let's be honest, a person with Blackbeard's physique is not going to be going around and picking fights with people and beating them if they're
oh,
like
you know they're kind of cool.
strong individuals.
What if Blackbeard had like a sumo wrestling fight style?
Honestly, I've said that I've said that I wanted that to be a thing. Um, if it was a thing, though, he would have done it by now.
Hmm.
But
Or maybe he has to pull out like as his final attack or something.
well, we got sent tomorrow for the sumo.
Oh yeah, it's true. It's true. So basically, let's talk about it then. We discussed Blackbeard, we discussed Katakuri, we discussed Big Mom, we discussed Shanks. So related back to the stream topic, right? Do you think um Mihawk can defeat any Yonko? Do you think there's any Yonko that he could defeat?
I haven't seen enough from him to be able to answer that confidently, but if someone was basically like, well, you have to give at least one as an answer, it would have to be Big Mom. Purely, no, wait a minute. We're talking about current Yonko. I'm sorry. Well, Blackbeard's technically a non-answer because I mean, who can't beat Blackbeard?
Oh come
Among
on.
top tiers. The dude gets hit, writhes on the ground.
Zaha ha
Um,
ha ha. Respect me,
and I'm
Zaha
expected
ha
to
ha.
believe. I'm expected to believe that Mr. No Impressive Hockey Feats is
Wow.
given. It's true though. The dude has no impressive hockey feats. I call him the suction man because the way he fights is that he pulls you in with darkness, punch. Pulls you in with darkness, punch. Rinse and repeat. He's a one-trick pony, and
No, Blackbeard is like
it's like
Luffy. He starts off small, but then he wins at the end.
Luffy's a way better fighter than Blackbeard is.
Both Luffy and
At
Blackbeard
least he,
are both Luffy and Blackbeard are growers, not showers. Okay, man, you gotta respect that.
uh, I don't know.
You gotta respect the
But
growers,
yeah,
man. You gotta respect the growers.
like not counting Blackbeard.
Not everybody can be
I
a show
would.
dude. All right.
Well, it's kind of hard to count Blackbeard because he's clearly not at his peak yet. Um, like there's no way that he's as strong as he's intended to be by the time he actually has, his real fights. Like I don't know if he's gonna gain another Devil Fruit and undergo like a sort of, final villain transformation or what. But he's definitely not even close to strong as he'll be by the time of the arc that focuses on him.
Okay,
Um,
so the thing I would say about the Blackbeard versus Mihawk thing, what I would say is, okay, my bad. What, you gonna say a point real quick?
the other problem with that is this dude relies so heavily on his Devil Fruit, and Mihawk doesn't have a fruit.
Yeah, that's what I was
So
gonna say. Actually, you just read my mind.
there's no exploitable weakness. There's no exploitable weakness. Like he's not gonna pull him in and drain him of strength because Mihawk doesn't have a fruit. So, like,
So
I think that's that.
So you don't think
That's
Blackbeard's
technically
fast enough to dodge Mihawk slashes?
If he was fast enough to dodge his slashes, why was he taking so many hits from Ace and everybody else he's ever faced?
He had block S wait, that was he had block S Hawk.
Yeah, and he struggled to do so.
He was just shocked.
He struggles to do so. Like
He was shocked, bro. You think he's actually weaker than Egghead, Zoro, and Luffy? Because Egghead, Zoro, and Luffy struggle with the Seraphim.
possibly. Well, the problem with Luffy is Gear 5 is
What?
really difficult to get around. Hockey wise though, absolutely. That man's hockey is freaking lame.
Luffy used Gear 4 against the Seraphim, the Kuma one.
That could also be inconsistent writing because it makes no freaking sense for children to be that strong. I don't care what
They're
they are.
Super Saiyan children.
Doesn't matter. Hockey is not something that's genetic. You have to be taught it. And I didn't see those kids being unless Sengoku was.
They didn't need hockey, bro. They had the freaking they had the dark skinned genes, and they was freaking off the they had the genes of all the what's it called, the warlords.
So what? The warlords really aren't that strong unless you're talking about Mihawk, Doflamingo, Boa.
The
I
Wakanda
guess
Lunarian
Crocodile-
genes are definitely powerful, though. We know that.
Eh.
What? Bro, let's talk about it. Zoro was able to slash Kaido.
Just because an author says something, if they don't have the feats to back it up, I don't accept it.
Zoro was able to slash Kaido,
And
right?
It's not my fault that Oda wrote two main sources of power in this series, and now he's like, oh, well, I don't want hockey to be the end-all be-all, so these kids that don't have hockey are going to be able to beat or stand up to moves that involve hockey. Just because genes?
Zoro slashed Kaido. And he couldn't slash King at first.
That makes no sense.
It's because
I'm sorry. Unless...
his defense is higher than Kaido's.
Yeah, that just makes no sense.
Literally when his I think it was when his flames were on or off.
Don't get me started on that flame nonsense. An aura of fire increases your defense. Does that really make sense? No, it doesn't.
I mean, that's just how the abilities work, the fictional abilities work.
I don't care if that's how it works. It needs to make sense.
It's a fictional...
You can't just be like, oh, fire cool. It makes my body harder.
It's a fictional African ability.
I don't care if it's fictional. It still needs to make sense. It needs to follow some degree of logic. Because at that point, if we're throwing all logic out just because it's fiction, well then a character who can surround themselves with water should be capable, should have an ability to where their entire body, to where that water is now capable of draining somebody's life by touching it.
Yeah, it could. They could drain the water out their
It it,
body.
it, it needs to be a believable. There needs to be a believable reason for it. I don't accept. Oh, well, when the fire's activated, his defense is stronger. You need to explain to me why that's the case.
Dude, it's
I
One
don't
Piece. How much
accept.
explanation do you need for things to be the case?
I need it. If other people don't care, that's fine, but I need it because
But
otherwise it just sounds lazy.
okay, maybe it is a little bit lazy, but like crazier things have happened in One Piece.
But they've made sense.
Hmm.
They've made sense.
Everything has made sense in One Piece.
When it comes to abilities,
Why was Luffy able to regrow his teeth by drinking milk?
that was not part of his ability. That was something that another character was capable of doing as well. And it was, not saying I agree with it, but that's not an ability.
So his teeth got taken out by Sanji kicking him, right?
Now you could say that maybe that was supposed to be foreshadowing Gear 5th.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, honestly, I don't think King is a good character, but that's not really the topic exactly.
He's definitely not a good character.
You know,
He's he's like he's forgettable. He's one of the lamest characters in this story. But yeah, we were talking about you would ask me which of the Yonko do I think Mihawk could beat? Well, I already said Blackbeard, but not counting him, I'm gonna put Big Mom in there too. I think he's beating her. Because when I look at Blackbeard, I always saw Blackbeard as being the up and coming. Remember, like, yeah, he has the title, yeah, he has the territory, but strength-wise, he's not on that level. Like he's not on that level yet. But he's going to be on that level. He was basically the Luffy of the Yonko before Luffy became one of them, right? Like, he was the weakest by a lot. He was biding his time. He was gonna try to gain more strength, and then eventually he was gonna become powerful enough to be equal to, to surpass them. Like, that was gonna come in time. And then, like, once he reached that level, like, then he'd be on equal footing with them all.
okay.
More or less. But
So,
yeah, I think Mihawk's beating Big Mom. Obviously, I'm not suggesting that he beats her easily, because that's stupid. Like, I mean, there should not be a single character in One Piece that could beat Big Mom as easily as a person could flick a peanut.
I mean, I agree. I mean, do you think Mihawk?
Because
Go ahead.
I don't know if I believe that Mihawk has to go all out to beat Big Mom. Because again, I need to see more from him, and also because he's a much later fight in the series, and considering how One Piece seems to be going, Zoro should be stronger than Big Mom by the time he faces Mihawk.
Stronger than Big Mom? Why?
Because he's fighting against all these strong opponents, and he's getting boosts from those fights that are pushing him further and further and further.
That way, Kid and Law did not actually defeat Big Mom.
What?
They didn't defeat Big Mom.
Kid and Law weren't using freaking hockey in that fight.
They didn't. They wouldn't still wouldn't have defeated Big
They were not using hockey in that fight.
Big
There's
Mom,
nothing about those two.
Big Mom fell down,
that-
and then some bombs brought her down to some molten lava.
Well, she was beaten by her own idiocy. That's what happened there.
Yeah, but they're not
She
strong enough to
defeated
defeat her.
herself.
Kid used his strongest attack, and Big Mom was pretty much completely fine.
Okay, well, yeah, like she wasn't beaten. She was just basically. But she was.
Don't use it to say Zoro will be stronger than Yonko.
You think it's crazy to believe? Okay, so let me get this straight.
Kaido and
Zoro's
Big Mom
not going to become stronger than Big Mom.
Kaido and Big Mom fought for like 5 days, right? Kaido didn't defeat Big Mom.
Are you freaking kidding me? Those two were not going all out.
Sure they weren't, but at the same time, right? If Big Mom's so astronomically weaker than Kaido, right? Then he should have defeated her.
If they were going all out, he would have defeated her. Absolutely.
He would have been he would have been like 30% health.
Are you forgetting about the fact that the two of them didn't have any signs of serious injury on their bodies after that supposed 5-day fight?
Yeah, I would love that.
That was
day
a scuffle
fight,
at best.
We love that day fight. They didn't even have no
That was a scuffle at best. If they were really going at it, like seriously, they'd have been dripping in blood.
Yeah.
Neither of them were bloody.
Yeah.
I
mean, I just.
So.
I mean, I don't know.
That tells me all I need to know. If Big Mom like.
I don't know.
If they're not bleeding,
tough because maybe in the series, maybe, but I don't know. I don't think defeating Mihawk, because honestly, me personally, I don't think Mihawk beats it. I mean, I just don't. So.
Okay. I mean, hey, you're.
I personally.
There's nothing wrong with believing that.
I personally I don't think Mihawk is stronger than any Yonko, except for maybe Blackbeard right now. But and that's even physically. I think Blackbeard has it. Well, actually, I don't. Well, it's hard to say because I don't think Mihawk could. I don't think Blackbeard could defeat Mihawk probably because he doesn't really have anything against him. So it's a weird matchup to get in.
Okay.
I don't know how that matchup will even go. Honestly, that's a really hard one. But so I think it's a possibility for that. Not because I think Blackbeard is weak, but because it's like from what we've seen with Blackbeard, he mostly just seems to just be extremely powerful and just deals with you. You haven't really seen, him just fight a straight up just monster who's just. By the way, jokes aside, I do think Mihawk is a monster, but I don't think he's a Yonko.
This dude needed what, 4 of his commanders to mostly take on Law?
Oh, come on with that. Come on with that,
and
bro. Nah.
and gets bloodied up and gets
he
beaten.
He defeated Law by himself.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Bro.
Then why'd he have his crew? Why'd he have members of his crew with him?
Because he doesn't fight fair. He fights dirty.
Oh, so he doesn't fight fair, and that's why he gets cut up. But if he starts fighting fair, then he never gets hit.
He starts fighting fair, then he never gets hit.
Like,
wait, say that
yeah,
again?
there's some serious problems with that. There's some serious problems with that character. If he's supposed to be that strong, his freaking gut should not be getting cut and punched around like a target every single fight he's in.
I mean, Zoro got defeated by the Illy Cool brothers, man. Luffy got defeated by Caesar Clown.
That was back then. And as for Caesar Clown,
they was way stronger than both of those people.
And as for Caesar Clown, that makes sense because Luffy's a moron. He got defeated by way of losing oxygen.
You can get hurt by people. Characters can get hurt by people who are physically weaker than them. Sanji is definitely physically stronger than Saturn, but Saturn has some strong abilities.
Nah, I don't know if I believe that.
Kuma destroyed Saturn, bro. There's no way Sanji isn't physically stronger than Saturn.
Yeah, but that's Kuma.
You think Kuma's stronger than Sanji, dude? Really?
Possibly, yeah.
Absolutely
I mean,
not.
like,
Absolutely not. There's no way in
like,
hell. Luffy,
like,
Sanji is the second commander of a Yonko. Come on now. There's
yeah,
absolutely no way Kuma.
a Yonko crew where everybody pretty much gets one shot by Luffy
That is okay, sure, but at the same time, bro, there's no way.
without
There's
even
no way in
needing Beard
hell.
Fair.
There's no way in hell Kuma's fist is stronger than Sanji, bro. Kuma got cut by
What is
Zoro
Sanji?
three times. Kuma got cut
What
by
is
Zoro
that was
three
pre
times.
time that was pre time skip. That was pre
Exactly.
time
You think
skip.
Kuma? What training has Kuma done? He's been a slave. I mean, sorry, Kuma, but he's been a slave, bro. What has he done? What training could he have done?
Dude,
I mean, he was
you
working in
do
the fields. What else was he doing besides working in the fields?
you do realize that in a lot of these manga series, characters get stronger later on simply because the writer hasn't nailed down every aspect of their power yet. Look at Naruto, for example, and how much stronger the first Hokage was in part 2 versus part 1. It was astronomical.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it's the same in One
mean,
Piece. It's the same in One
I
Piece.
mean, we didn't know how
Characters
strong
that
we didn't know how strong the Hokage was, though.
Hockey also didn't exist at that time. Like, had hockey existed at the time that Kuma first appeared and Oda knew exactly what he was going to do with his character,
Yeah,
I
well,
guarantee you Kuma would have never gotten cut.
was it me? To me, Saturn's an obvious last cannon. I don't see.
He's also immortal, so it could be one of those things where it's like,
Yeah.
it could be like an Aizen situation where he figures, well, I'm immortal, I can't get hurt. Why should I have to worry about?
To me, there's no way Kuma is half dead beating Kuma is physically stronger than Queen. I think that's just ridiculous.
I
think
mean,
that's
it's possible.
I don't think it's possible at all. So
It's possible.
I don't think it's
It's possible.
millimeter percent possible that Kuma could be stronger than
It's
Sanji.
possible. It's possible.
Not, how is it possible, bro?
Like,
Sanji is a second commander of Yonko, man. Like seriously.
Dude, he's a second commander.
He has a billion bounty. You think Kuma deserves a billion bounty?
But Sanji's part of Luffy's crew. He's not part of Whitebeard's crew or Shanks's crew.
Okay, let's talk about Kaido.
He's part of Luffy.
Queen was the second commander of Kaido, the strongest creature in the world.
I mean,
Exactly. There's no way in hell Kuma is physically stronger than Sanji. That would be BS, right? Honestly, now that would be BS. That along with the King Flame, I agree. The King Flame thing's a stretch. That would be BS writing as well. There's no way.
I mean,
I love Kuma. I love his character, but there's no way. Kuma is probably.
it's possible.
Kuma's probably 10 times.
I would need to see Sanji actually kick and damage Kuma to believe.
I think Sanji's one shot at Kuma.
I don't see that.
I think Sanji kicks Kuma and he breaks into pieces.
Okay.
That's
I mean,
hey,
hey,
bro, there's no way that's not happening. There's no way, bro.
But we're
come
also
on, man. There's no way, bro. There's no way you think Kuma. I can't believe this.
Like,
I can't
come on,
believe
man.
this.
Like,
I can't believe this, bro. This is crazy,
like,
man.
I'm sorry.
Sanji slander is
but
crazy right now, man.
I just don't see it.
Slander is
Unless
crazy,
unless I see Sanji do something like he kicks a person and their entire body's engulfed in flames and they turn it to
he
ash.
Sent Queen. Queen was a cyborg. Let's talk about robots since you're holding up Kuma as a robot so highly. Queen was a cyborg, right? A cyborg dinosaur. Prehistoric zone, whatever the freak he was called, right? And he sent that dude flying off the island. So flying over Yashimi.
Okay.
Right? Like, Kuma is breaking to pieces, bro, if Sanji kicks him hard now.
Okay.
That's the way I see it. But yeah.
Yeah, Queen is also a cyborg that was designed by himself, not Vegapunk. That's a big difference.
Okay. Yeah. Designed by Vegapunk, got cut by Precon City Road. Okay. Yeah.
Which again it really has no bearing on this conversation because pre-time skip, a lot of things were different back then.
Maybe Kuma got some Tony Stark upgrades. Maybe, who
Oda hadn't done a lot of thinking when it came to hockey.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like
If Kuma has
50%
if Kuma has hockey,
stronger than it was back then.
I mean, if Kuma has hockey, that is
It didn't exist because the author hadn't thought about it at the time and didn't incorporate it in with his abilities.
right. That's true. I mean, we haven't seen him use hockey. I don't think. Though. You know what I'm saying? It's
We
possible he
haven't seen
has
what?
it. It's possible he has it, but we don't know if Kuma even has hockey.
Of course he does.
Okay. Do you think Mihawk being Kuma?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you think
of course I do. I mean,
do you think Mihawk's being Katakuri?
oh, absolutely. Probably,
Okay.
honestly, probably with little effort. Like, you know, I, I think people kind of overrate Katakuri's strength. Like, yeah, he's
Mmm.
strong.
And
He's
Katakuri
strong.
fans said that.
Fan, not fanboy. There's a
That Angel
difference.
Katakuri is his
Not,
YouTube channel, by the way. That's his name of YouTube channel.
I'm not, and Katakuri's not even my favorite character in the series. So, he's probably not even top 3 favorite. Um,
Yeah, I think you
but
say you created a name like back when he was
it's because he was like the new thing. He was the cool new guy, and I decided because of that like his design and all that. And it was also because I knew that other characters' names had already been used for YouTube accounts, and I figured, well, if I'm gonna give myself a name, it needs to be a new character whose name could still be available.
right.
That's why I went with it.
The two, cause you start
And
off
when I
you
when
start
I
off trying to be
discovered that
humble.
I didn't need to when I discovered that I didn't need to add anything to Katakuri Fan was when I was like, all right, I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like Mihawk, yeah, he's definitely beating Katakuri. Like Big Mom probably low diffs Katakuri.
Not no probably.
Um, well, definitely does.
Yeah.
It just
Cat.
depends on whether or not she's gone through one of her episodes or not. With the wedding cake. Um,
The hunger pains, man. The hunger pains.
but yeah, even though I do believe that Mihawk, I'll change it to could potentially beat Big Mom depending on what he has to show. That dude is not getting out of that fight without getting really messed up. Like I don't think we're gonna see characters that are like the quote unquote final opponents. They're not gonna even if they even all right. So I'll throw out a current one. Let's say hypothetically speaking that Shamrock is somehow stronger than Shanks, which is absolutely nonsense. But just for the purposes of my point, I'm gonna go with that absurd hypothetical. Even if Shamrock was somehow stronger than Shanks, it's only gonna be like a small amount. It's not gonna be a huge gap. We're not going to be heading into Naruto territory where Darling is the Madara and he's like massively stronger than the Yonko. We're not that's not going to happen, right? Like I think you would agree that the Gorosei are not stronger than the Yonko.
Mm-hmm.
Like okay, maybe Blackbeard because again, I don't believe he's reached full strength yet. And Luffy because Luffy also hasn't reached full strength yet. But like the Gorosei are nuts. Okay, well, as a group, they're probably beating the Yonko. Like with them in a fleet, they're probably beating the Yonko. But individually,
do you believe that Mihawk is stronger than all the right hand man of the Yonko currently? Okay.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Um, absolutely. Like,
I mean, if you
because
remember
if
Ben
he,
Beckman, he got shook by. I mean, Cesaro got shook by Ben Beckman. Oh, Ben Beckman.
yeah, but I think it's possible that Mihawk could even be stronger than Kizaru. I'm not gonna say that's. I'm not gonna, say
Oh.
that I'm 100% confident in that because Kizaru still hasn't shown everything he has to show yet.
Mm.
But it's not impossible for that to be the
Speed
case.
of light
For him to
Cesaro.
be,
Speed of light Mihawk. Mm.
I mean, we saw an old man Rayleigh doing pretty well against Kizaru despite you know, despite the supposed speed difference.
That's true.
So,
That's true. Apparently, light speed doesn't mean too much in One Piece. The top tier.
well, I think with Kizaru, it's not that he's moving at light speed; it's that he's traveling at light speed when he turns into light. When he's not turned into light, he's not moving at light speed. Like it's a Logia fruit; it's not a paramecia. And the thing about light is, when you travel at speed of light, you turn into energy. So if he's just moving about and he's completely visible, Kizaru is not moving at light speed. He just isn't. Um, I don't know why people got it in their heads that that was the case because do we
His,
ever see his
his, his,
body glowing?
his light. He's moving at light speed. That's how fiction works.
Yeah, but again, it's a Logia fruit, not paramecia. So for him to be moving at speed of light, his body has to be turned into light.
He stated himself that he moves at speed of light.
I don't care what he says. It doesn't make any sense. Like when
Stop.
NL would
You're looking too much
teleport
sense.
around.
You're looking for too much sense.
No, I'm using evidence from the series itself. When NL would move around seemingly at the speed of lightning, he would transform into electricity and reappear. Kizaru has to do that same thing if he's moving at speed of light because it's a Logia fruit. It's an elemental power. So him just being in normal form, moving at speed of light, makes absolutely no sense. He's not the Flash. He doesn't have the speed fruit. He has the light fruit.
Well, I mean, that's what Oda wrote in the story.
I don't care what Oda writes in the story. He needs to show it. Like words, actions speak louder than words.
Elemental.
He's also not infallible.
Yeah, so he's beating all the first right hand. So I guess that can get to the last.
Well, yeah. 'Cause now that I think about it, because he would have to be able to beat Beckman, right? Because unless somebody believes that Beckman is somehow stronger than Shanks, which is insane. Although I will admit that'd be interesting. But yeah, I don't see. Anyway, but yeah, you were gonna say something.
Oh, I said so we stated we basically reiterate to restate
Reiterate.
reiterate yeah reiterate restate reiterate that words to re-go over this everything, summarize. We believe that Mihawk, well, you believe that Mihawk could beat Blackbeard, beat Big Mom. I think Mihawk is not showing any Yonko. We both agree though that Mihawk does defeat every right hand, and obviously Zoro's a right hand, so that means Mihawk defeats current Zoro. Um, and
Heck, I'd even go so far as to say that. Heck, I'd even go so far as to say that the only right hand that gives him difficulty is probably only Beckman. Because the others, I just see him trashing.
yeah. I mean, didn't was Jesus Burgess Blackbeard's right hand? Or no.
Dude that got freaking almost curb stomped by Sabo. Uh, yes, he's supposed to be the right hand,
I don't remember if
but
he is or not. I don't think he actually is. I think. Let me see.
he's he's pretty freaking. Well, people base that on the fact that he's the
Most.
captain of the first ship.
Uh, okay, if he's the captain of the first ship, then yeah, that's it. No, it actually
But
no
that's
no actually his right hand man is Shiro the Rain actually.
I don't think that was ever stated. But hey, I could be wrong.
Okay, so two sources say something different. One source says Blackbeard's most trusted right hand, Shiro the Rain. The other one says Jesus Burgess is his right hand.
Where are you getting that from?
Google.
Yeah, but what's the source of that
Good point. It's probably Jesus.
supposed?
It's probably Jesus Burgess, but I mean Shiro is most likely
Why
stronger.
would it be? First of all, it would have to be Burgess because he's been with the Blackbeard a lot longer than Shiryu.
Right, but Shiro
Like,
definitely has to be.
honestly,
Shiro has to be stronger than Jesus Burgess, I imagine.
yeah, but I don't think it should be strength based.
Okay, well we
Like,
talking
you
about
can't just promote someone for right hand because they're stronger than someone else.
no.
Um,
I wouldn't do that, but like
I will say
we're talking about Shonen Power,
I am
so
kind of I am kind of surprised that Kuzan didn't get promoted to right hand because you know, to me, he's probably like not counting Blackbeard because he's a wild card still for me. Uh, Kuzan is definitely the strongest of the captains. Like he's definitely the strongest of the 10, without a doubt.
well,
Like
let's see.
I think Kuzan is probably soloing the entire crew with the exception of maybe Blackbeard.
He did on screen. So okay,
Yeah.
so Mihawk probably is strong to Shear the Rain, because Shear the Rain is a swordsman, right? Um, he has to be strong to Shear the Rain.
Well,
Cause
he also uses deception.
in two, we think about it, Shear the Rain. Uh, obviously Shear the Rain is most likely not gonna be Zoro's final fight. His final fight is gonna be against the world's strongest sword. World's greatest swordsman. Um,
Well,
so
if you're talking about like his opponent on the Blackbeard crew, I think it's going to be Kuzan.
well, I'm not. I'm well right now. I'm just trying to reiterate real quick so I can go ahead and. Well, yeah, but basically I'm trying to like just go over it, the Mihawk stuff. But yeah, it might be Curzon. I'm not really talking about his opponent. I'm just talking about if we assume that Shiro be his Blackbeard opponent, then Mihawk would have to be stronger than Shiro, obviously, by that logic.
Yeah, and
Shiro.
I don't think that Mihawk's going to be Zoro's final opponent. I think that's insane.
How is that insane? He's the world's strongest sword. He's the world greatest swordsman. Why would a swordsman character final opponent not be?
Mihawk's going to last until the final arc and then be beaten after the Gorosei are taken down.
Wait, so you think Zoro's final opponent is the Gorosei swordsman?
To believe that Mihawk is his final opponent, you'd have to think that Mihawk is just going to wait around until all the fighting is stopped and then have like a peaceful, you know, like, you know, duel with Zoro on some island where there's no
Not
inhabitants.
exactly. The Gorosei are glass cannons. They have already been hurt really badly. Like
Yeah, and again, they're also immortal.
Saturn,
They're also immortal.
Saturn got hurt by like everybody. Yes, they're immortal,
They're
but like
also
after they get past that weakness, Mihawk is
what
definitely stronger than Saturn or like.
if hockey can't bypass that immortality, what do you think is going to? Because I don't see any way. Unless
Talking about the super recent chapters. Spoilers. Gabon, uh, had hurt a guy with immortality or regeneration. He wasn't able to heal. He said, "I can't heal."
really,
Yeah, he said, I can't heal." He said, "Why
well,
is my
that must
arm
be a new
healing?"
ability.
He said, "Why is my arm healing?" He has no devil fruit from what we know. He said, "Why is my arm healing?"
Hmm.
So that's a super spoiler, spoiler,
Is that
spoiler,
is
spoiler.
that is that did that chapter come out like last week or something?
Yeah, like last week.
Wow. Okay. Well, then Luke is definitely learning that.
Yeah, but
Uh.
so, but yeah, so yeah, so we believe he's beating the right hand. So I guess the final thing is to go over what we were talking about. Do we think the final topic we talked about a little bit, but I guess this answers it. We don't believe. I don't believe Mihawk would defeat Shanks, and I definitely don't believe Mihawk would beat uh Roger unless Roger was a newborn. So that's your answer there, people. Um, I'm guessing Kakuri. What's your answer?
Just imagining a baby Roger picking up a full size sword and just cutting Mihawk in half.
Hey, it's possible, man. It's possible. The Fry paints his sword. So
Like
yeah,
lest we forget that freaking never mind.
but yeah. So I guess that laugh means it's a no for you, right?
What?
That you don't believe Mihawk's defeating Shanks or Roger.
No.
Because that was the ultimate question. Because we went over Mihawk's strength, what we think he's placed at. Karakuri person thinks he's placed over Blackbeard and Big Mom. I think he's above the right hands, but slightly below the Yonko. That's where I put him. That's where I comfortably put Big Mihawk for now until he actually has feats on screen. Not just eating off feats that
Yeah.
Shanks has. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on that. You can disagree if you want to. Disagreements are okay. Obviously we don't know everything because we only know so much. I mean, we can only go off on certain things because certain characters haven't shown everything, right? So we're just going off our opinions here. Don't take it too hard too much. We joke around a little bit, and also just state from our hearts, man. We state how we truly feel about the series. So yeah, I hope you respect it, and anybody in the future seeing this, especially when we get bigger, hope you respect each other in the comment section even if you have disagreements. So yeah, man, I'm gonna head on out. Kacker, you got any final thing you want to say?
Can't think of anything.
Okay. Well, we stayed our piece. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And we appreciate everyone for watching this. In the present, the past, and the future. So yeah. Peace, like, subscribe. Stay tuned for the next one. I forgot to show it. Yeah, I gotta show my screen on this. Wait a minute. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. To be continued.